My word, they changed the music to that thing, and I absolutely love it.
It's like one of those videos that you put on when you're trying to like get white noise or like help you go to sleep on YouTube.
Like the lo-fi
Yeah.
stuff, like the lo-fi stuff. Yeah, it is. Holy crap, that's awesome. I like that they changed the music. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Wisemen Say podcast. Ty Fisher alongside Derik Abbott. Jared Lucas is unavailable tonight. If you guys would ever be so kind, shoot him a message on Twitter. Tell him that you are thankful for him being a part of the show and whatnot. He helped me start this show 3.5 years ago to start my rebrand back over. So shoot him a message. Let him know that y'all are appreciative of him. And Derik, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. The Detroit Pistons tied up their series against the New York Knicks. And if nobody knows, the Pistons have not won a playoff game since 2008 and haven't been to the playoffs since like 2015 or 16. So, as a long struggling Pistons fan, if there's any of you else out there, we can celebrate at least one win, and that's better than anything we've had before, or at least in recent memory. So, I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself, Ty?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Work's been going great. I had a short shift yesterday for about an hour and a half. Came home.
Nice weather.
Yeah, very nice weather. My word, I didn't expect that today.
It's a
But
little spring
oh
burst
my
we're having
gosh,
here.
yeah, and then watch it'll be like snowing and
Oh, I
stuff
know.
before
Don't put
May
away
even hit.
your winter jackets or your sweatshirts quite yet.
Not too much. Oh my gosh, man, Manuel Villalobos, man, let me tell you, this guy is a class act. Derik, I know I texted it to you in the group chat.
Yeah. I was excited.
We're at Texas Roadhouse, and I told y'all, like, there's crew fans over there. They're sitting like adjacent behind Gerald. And I tell you what, it's an Ian, and this guy comes up, he goes, and remember, guys, Wisemen say, and I said, only fools rush in. He tells me it's him. And I was like, oh my God, we got recognized at a freaking Texas Roadhouse. That's so awesome.
And good taste for all of you partaking in Texas Roadhouse. I love that. Very underrated. Or shouldn't be, but I feel like still is.
We that was a spontaneous stop because I saw a thing on Twitter that was like, oh, Easter, like what's going to be like your Easter basket? It's going to be like Texas Roadhouse rolls or something like that. And I shared it. I was like, it's me. I'm the Easter bunny that's going to be doing that and whatnot. So that was a fun time, but it was a good trip. Texas Roadhouse is so good. Now I want Texas Roadhouse again. Jesus Christ. Short show today. We are touching on the Crew Inter Miami game in Cleveland. Going to be touching on Crew San Jose Earthquakes. That is this Saturday. And a little bit of the DeJuan Jones trade, who was sent to San Jose Earthquakes. Didn't have to go far to be with his new team. So touching on that today. Feel free to jump in the comments if you guys have anything. If you guys went to Cleveland, feel free to share your thoughts in the chat. And why not? Let's just go ahead and get it bumping. Crew Miami held at Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland, Ohio this past Saturday, day before Easter. And to spare the details a little bit, man, we got into the press box right before the national anthem because of traffic.
Yeah, it sounded like the parking situation and traffic was a nightmare if you were getting up right before the game.
Oh my God. And we left at like 10 something. Yeah. So it was just stupid. But nonetheless, Columbus controlled that game wholeheartedly. Yeah. Controlled the game, dominated possession. Messi cannot play defense at all. He doesn't play defense at all.
Gerald and I kind of touched on that last week too. I said, look, unless something's changed, I haven't watched a ton of his Miami games other than when I occasionally see highlights, but I don't think he's playing a lot of defense. So if we can get, our guys going on offense, that's
Yeah.
one less person you really have to deal with, especially if you can hit him on a counter or something like that, because he's not going to be back there doing a whole lot to defend.
No, not at all. And I mean, we had chances in the first half. We had a couple chances in the first half to take the lead, to really like dictate the game, set the tone of the game. But I think they got the wrong sport, right? Because they were just putting them over the frame. My
The football
word.
field was really throwing them off. They were ready. They were ready in mid-season form for the Browns. That's for sure. They were ready
Oh
to
yeah.
kick some field goals.
Oh yeah. 100%. Man, this is getting that ribeye up. I own 20 shares of Texas Roadhouse. It must be nice. I have no idea how that's possible, but my word. We played well and should have won 4-1. The guys are showing me they are in the right areas, but why Chaberco didn't start and we had Amundsen in. Malde has been average this year so far. I feel like he's been average because he hasn't had the playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, he hasn't played nearly as much as we probably would have anticipated at first.
He hasn't played as much as he did in 23 because he was a constant starter in 23 when he came over from New York City. That's a good thing though. Why Chaberco didn't start for this game, which I thought he would have.
So when I got up there early on Saturday and we stayed at a hotel like really close to the stadium. So we went to a brewery close by, and then we had some friends that live up there. And one of them owns a business that's like a little bit further. I don't know if it's north or south of the stadium. So a little bit further away. So we had to Uber back over. But you mentioned you didn't get in there until right before the national anthem. I mean, with the traffic, like we didn't notice it when we got in there originally, but like when we were trying, we had to walk probably half a mile, if not further, into the stadium, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't seem like a lot, but everybody was funneling in the same area. And I also don't know if like we had Nordeck tickets, but it was all general admission. So like by the time we had like 6 to 8 people that we were trying to find spots for, so we ended up going all the way up to this like Bud Light party deck deal, and we were directly behind one of the goals. So I actually did not even know until he got subbed on, because literally we were 10 minutes into the game by the time we got up there. It was kind of, we can go into it later, but like that part of it like stunk that we had to miss that much and do all of that. But I had no idea he wasn't in until he got subbed in, and then I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah. When I got the tweet from the crew, because we were essentially, so the way that Gerald GPS had us going to get to our parking lot, the ramp was closed to get up and then make the right and then get to the lot. So that was closed. So we had to keep going straight on 2 or 90, get off on a side road, and at the end people were making U-turns. And it was just a one-way stop getting off the exit. You can only go left or right. People were making U-turns to get back on going the other way on 90. So we sat there for an hour and a half. So I get the tweet from the crew about the starting lineup, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm sitting there thinking, why isn't Chaberco starting? Like, I feel like he has grown so much in this system since coming to Columbus that he would be like the anchor of what Camacho is.
We were saying that last week, that we didn't feel the need to rush Camacho back because of how good he's been playing.
Exactly.
And then for them to march him out and not Camacho either. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Again, Nantes certainly earned all of the respect when he puts out a lineup where you've got 1 or 2 like head scratchers, but that was another example of one where you're just like, what's happening here?
But yeah, I was like, what in the world? Manuel says the first 20 minutes we struggled with pace on the passes. Yes, the passes were absolutely atrocious the first 20 minutes. Passing to the wrong foot, heavy touches everywhere. It was just not the crew that we were used to seeing.
It looked
field
like
looked
the I wonder if the field being different, and I don't know how much
probably.
different, but any scenario where you're in something like that is going to be different. And probably the lack of ability to practice on it. I don't even know if they did practice on it, or if they did, they got one practice on it.
Yeah,
I,
they did
I
Friday.
would
They
think,
did Friday.
okay. So I would imagine that had to play a part in that, where they had to essentially like train their feet or get kind of their legs under them a tad bit, in game speed to be able to do that. But yeah, it looked sloppy at first. It looked about as sloppy as it was outside in those first 20
Yeah.
minutes before the weather also kind of worked in our favor a tad bit.
Yeah. The field looked good, but you could see the players weren't sure on the reaction. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I know there was one pass, I think it was either Steven to Diego or somebody to Diego, and it kind of caught Diego off guard.
Yes,
And
I know
it just
exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
it was early in the game. And I'm sitting there like, Jesus Christ. By the way, the media in Cleveland, and I'm sure that Crew PR is going to watch this and know about it because I made a tweet about it too. It wasn't the Columbus people or anybody associated with Columbus that's on the beat, right? It was just like, I think it was like local Cleveland media that were up
Yeah.
there, obnoxious as hell.
What were they doing?
There was fuck. Oh, Messi had a shot on goal. It hit the stanchion on the outside, and you just hear clapping.
No, dude,
And
what?
yeah, no, I swear to God. And then oh shit, what happened? Tori Penso got in the way a couple times. And like, ref, get out of the way. Like, oh my God, this is annoying as hell. And then
imagine if the media is doing this there, imagine what's going on in the stands.
Yeah.
With all these people there to see Messi.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm sitting here like, this is so annoying. There was one of them, I can't remember what the hell happened. I think it was Daniel had a shot on goal, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's Jason Russell Rowe," and I had Brianna. She thought it was me that said it. I'm like, no, that's them to my left. Like,
yeah, you're like,
I know the players.
I cover the team. I'm not making a mistake like that. They don't even
know
look
the players.
Like they're all very different builds. Like between Diego and Jason Russell Rowe and Gazdag, like they're all like you shouldn't have any scenario where if you know anything about the team that you would mistake any of them.
Yeah. But she thought it was me, and I'm like, no, that's them, like next to me. And she was like, oh my God, like, and we even talked about it like afterwards. Like, they were like so obnoxious and they were so unprofessional. And I made a tweet about it, and I'm just like, this is worse than Chicago media, because Chicago Fire media is bad.
Really?
Oh my God, yes, they're so bad. But to say the least, the chances that the Columbus Crew had, they should have been put away. Honestly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I have to give credit where credit is due. And Benjamin Kramasky, the header goal was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Absolutely phenomenal. Like the pass from Weigand into the box, I thought for sure, I can't remember who was back. Maybe I think it was Amundsen that was defending Kramasky. I thought he could get a head on it, but perfect direction into the back of the net. And I had to sit and mentally applaud that, because that was a remnants of 2014 World Cup Robin Van Persie.
Wow.
Flying Dutchman. Oh yeah. I know, since it didn't matter what tickets you had, the ushers and security allowed everyone to rush the aisles to take photos. Atmosphere was flat. Half of the inner Messi fans only cared about posting. That is true.
Yeah.
The Haslam wanted to promote the Browns and try converting some Crew fans into Brown supporters is how I felt. Was unimpressed with what was put together. Even the military flyby was out of sync. Okay.
Was it? We were outside when it happened. Of course, we're like, cool. so awesome. It's like when you play when somebody has lasers at any kind of concert you go to, everybody freaks out. I do the same
Yeah.
thing. Lasers are cool. So
Yeah.
then you like hear the rumble coming and then you see the flyby, and we were outside the stadium, so we didn't know when it was. So we're like, awesome. But like, come on, you do it for football games all the time. How do you leave? How's that out? How do you not time that?
Yeah. I think it was like they were introducing the crew lineup, and you just hear. And I was
No.
like,
During the lineup?
yeah. And so Brianna thought it was thunder. And I was like, nope, that's a
That would have
flyby.
stunk if it was thunder. We all been
Oh yeah.
stuck there like, ugh.
Like, nope, that's a flyby. And I was like, yep, that's super late. So bad. But you were at the game, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The entire thing, right?
Mm,
What was your reaction to it? Just the not the game, but like the
the presentation of it
atmosphere.
all. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
So where we were at, which, you know, to Noel's point about the tickets, like they weren't checking tickets anywhere. Like I could have went and probably sat just about anywhere and no one would have said a word. Like we actually popped into different spots because at that point we didn't know what was Nordec and what wasn't.
Yeah.
And they were letting us look around. We just couldn't find anything. And so like our friends had been to Browns games since they live up there. So they were like, let's go up to this area. The first thing that like shocked me, or not shocked me, I guess it was more of just like felt really bizarre. Understandably, they were using all the crew graphics and doing all of the things that you would see at a home crew game, but it felt really bizarre in a stadium where there's just brown stuff everywhere. So it was like felt
Yeah.
really, really weird in that regard. So that part like kind of threw me off. A few other things that I like really made note of. And I mean, all the way up to where we were at, which like you couldn't have gotten seats higher than where we were, I don't think, or maybe you could have gotten ones above us. I don't really remember that, but there were so many children there, more than normal, which is great. I mean, you know, bring your kids to the game. That's like totally down for that. But all of them had messy stuff on, and I'm like, if a lot of these people are coming from Ohio, which I would assume, or maybe Michigan or something like that, like are well enough aware of the crew, and this is a crew game. It's supposed to be a home game. Where are the more kids? There were a lot of kids wearing crew kits, don't get me wrong, but there were triple the amount of kids wearing Messi jerseys. That inevitably like just annoys me. I still thought they were letting people sell the knockoff jerseys outside, which
Yeah.
in and of itself, like you see that a lot when it comes to like Messi and things like that. But I can't imagine them allowing people to do that with crew jerseys that close to a stadium. Frankly, like I've never seen that. I cannot imagine that they would let vendors do that when they could be selling their own inside. So that part was just like a little weird, but whatever. That you see that enough. Mentioned about the scarves. We had 2 to 3 friends in our group who didn't have anything crew on, and luckily one of our friends brought like a bunch of their scarves. I was actually mad because I'm like, I've got so many scarves. I would love to just give them to some friends and just tell them to keep them because I have so many. I don't have enough of them that I have attachment to. But we walked around, at least the side that we were on, we didn't see any crew stuff for sale. I'm actually surprised to see or hear that they were selling anything because we didn't see a single crew stand. They were actively saying, we are looking to purchase crew gear. Like we want to purchase it. We actually happened to walk by the Browns like in store thing. We didn't go in, so maybe there was crew stuff, but when we walked by, we saw none. It was all Brown stuff. I'm like, I don't know who's going to go to a Miami versus Columbus soccer game and then buy a bunch of Cleveland Brown stuff. Maybe they sold a bunch. I have no clue, but I just thought that was like a little weird because I have friends who are Browns fans. They didn't think twice about. They didn't like. There was no point where they're like, "Let's go in there. I want to buy a new jersey or something like that for the Browns." But again, it's at their stadium. It's easy for them to do it. So you know, I can understand the idea of doing it. But that part, one thing I don't know if anyone else saw this. Like the area we were at, it was so easy to get food and drinks and go to the bathroom. So like I actually didn't have any trouble with that. That was amazing from where we were standing personally. we never had to worry about being in a long line for any of that. So during halftime, we were kind of just like watching what's going on in the field. And they did this, everybody wears the bubble suit thing. So like a soccer game going on with the bubble suit
The
deals.
halftime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually I'm down for like 5 minutes of that. I'm like, all right, whatever. And maybe it's because they do it at Blue Jackets games and it's a really small period, or it's really small portion of time through the intermission period. But that thing felt like it went on forever. And
The halftime game?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, this
It
game
was
is
like,
taking
it felt like it was
freaking
20
ever.
minutes long. I'm like, oh my God, I would rather see nothing than them just out there. And I thought this was really funny, actually, but I didn't get it. Brownie the elf, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Every time, like, I don't know if it's the same person or just different people, but anytime they'd fall over, you like kind of fall over, and a lot of people, like, you kind of get like turtle, like you need help getting back up. He would just run and like dive bomb on top of them.
I saw that.
And like pancake them. I was like, what is he doing? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? So that was all like really weird to me. They should do this at crew games. If they ever needed volunteers, I would totally go out there for 5 minutes and just like run around in those. I think they have
Yeah.
occasionally, but not for 20 or how it seemed like a really long. I'm like, if these are adults or like people our age, they're getting gassed out there. Like,
Yeah.
we're not made for that. And so
Yeah.
that part was weird. The whole thing was like, I think when we started like just an onslaught of attempting to score, I got really, really into it, and I didn't really care about all those things going on that I was like kind of just pointing out. But overall, I mean, I feel like it was a novelty thing that they did. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm going to put an asterisk on that loss and say that we're still undefeated at home, because that was not a home game as far as I'm concerned. Whether it be the amount of fans that were in there, the actual like decor of the stadium, which you can't change everything, but I thought you had a pretty good amount of time to know that this was going to happen. So to not like get any stuff to put up to make it look more like a crew game was a bit like, come on. Would have been well said. They were selling crew stuff. They were selling and pushing shirts, scarves, and hats. I think total revenue had to be close to 5 million. I mean, I would imagine that's pretty good, right? 5 million at a game. But I didn't see any of it. So it was not in the area we were at for sure. And again, I don't know enough about the stadium. I don't know if both ends have a scoreboard or if it's just one end, but we were directly across the scoreboard. That's kind of like, I don't know, the shape that looks like this, whatever shape that is. So we didn't see any in that area. So if they sold a bunch, I mean, great. It's hopefully they got like kids bought jerseys and things like that, because I want to see hopefully more people adapt to the crew and not just Messi when it comes to soccer in America. But I know that that's a big part of what we were gonna kind of go into. So I mean, I got to go up and on a home game, away game in my mind. And also like see some friends and stuff. So that was fun. But yeah, I'll be happy this Saturday when we're back at home.
Yeah. Obviously for me, it was a bit different, right? So obviously parking, traffic and parking was a mess, honestly. But for me, like, I was able to finally get my press pass and go in. Somebody from the crew, I don't know who it was, said that I would walk through a set of doors and there's markings on the ground that have like lines that say press box, so follow those. So I go through these doors and I'm looking, I'm like, I see no lines. So I see this young lady. She's like, yep, follow me. We got to go up to the main concourse in order to get to the press box. It's like, well, first of all, that's stupid.
There's going to be a ton of people.
But by the way, on the main concourse, I think for every 15 crew fans, I saw 3 Miami or Messi jerseys. So there were quite a bit of crew fans.
Okay, good.
That made it either to Cleveland or were in Cleveland and are crew fans and came to Cleveland and just made the small trek over from their house. So there was quite a bit of black and gold I will
Okay.
say
I love that.
that. So we get to like the 7-Up lounge, and we're like, yeah, catch these elevators, go up to number 4, which would be the press box. Okay, cool. So I go, talk to this lady and the gentleman, and she's like, yep, take one of these elevators. So I hit the up button. I'm standing at one, the one behind me opens, and I'm like, I'm trying to get to the press box. I think it's number 4. This other lady, I think she works for the Browns, was on the elevator. She goes, oh no, you want the other set of elevators. So you got to walk out, go back to the main concourse, turn left. There's a whole other set of doors that look like these. I'm walking. I pass the gear store, the Cleveland Browns Pro Shop. I'm like, what in the world? So I go in. I'm like, this guy right here. I'm like, he's like, he looks at me. I'm like, I'm trying to get to the press box, man. He goes, yeah, take these elevators up to 4. There was a line of people. So this guy came in clutch, and he goes, actually follow me. Takes me through a side door to like the club premium seating area. He's like, take this elevator, go to 4. He's like, I don't want you waiting in the line. I'm like,
nice.
My guy.
He's probably someone who works there regularly throughout the football season. Okay, that's good.
But I'm like, I'm getting told every which way to find the press box. Nobody in like, do you know what floor? No, it just says press box in the email. I don't know. I've never been here before.
You're
like,
right.
Help me out. If I'm asking you where the press box is, just say, oh yeah, level 4. Oh, do you know what floor? No, I don't. Guys, I'm new here. Leave me alone. Finally get up there. My chair kept freaking sliding in down. It's
it's like literally the worst.
It's like it's like an office chair. It's like brown and orange. It's comfy, but it's like, oh, okay, I can raise it up and sit down. All of a sudden, I just feel it slowly start to sink, and I'm like,
please tell me this didn't happen the entire game.
Yes, it did. It happened the entire game.
Oh no, what?
It happened the entire game. Yep, Gerald's did too.
Dude.
We missed the meal. We missed the food. Whatever. We had Texas Roadhouse. I ain't really care about that.
Did you see what kind of food they had though?
No, it was gone.
Oh man, I was just curious, like what kind of spread they had. Dang,
it was gone when we got there. They had chips though, but I for one thought that they hot take. I for one thought that for everything that they did, I thought it was presented well. Right? The Match Igniter, Cleveland Cavaliers coach, obviously.
Yeah.
Welshly Arms, they're from Cleveland.
Were they there?
Yeah, they sang
all this. I'm so annoyed that
they sang Wisemen Say.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it when they do that.
I don't know what the Browns do before like their thing.
Oh, they have a thing. They smash a guitar or something like that?
Yeah. So it was Jerry Judy.
Oh, okay.
That smashed. Apparently, he was being interviewed by Apple and said that he was excited to see Messi and was rooting for Miami, then appears in a Columbus Crew jersey and smashes a Les Paul guitar painted in Miami colors.
What? Oh, maybe they do the guitar in the other team's colors, but like, oh my!
I swear to God, I was like,
Judy, just lie about it, man. If you're like, come on.
Oh my God!
It's probably a paid appearance too, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would assume it was because
I'd like that they did all that. Like that. That's the part that, like, I'm glad they did all that. I'm annoyed at myself that I missed it, but that they brought those, like, and that makes sense because they had all of our graphics and stuff up. So
yeah,
that's good to see that they still brought all those things to the game to like do all of it.
Yeah, and I mean, for given, I get everybody's gripe about it's a money grab. I mean, every time Miami played a team and it was moved to an NFL stadium, it was a money grab.
Yeah.
There was nothing different that the Haslams and the FO for the Crew did that Kansas City.
Really good point.
Yeah, that there's
everybody's experience as a fan and the gripes that they have about it were probably replicated. We probably just aren't on those teams like Reddits or Twitter, whatever,
Yeah.
Like, we're not in tune with that, but that's probably a lot of the same stuff, which
I
get.
I'm pretty sure all fans felt the same way when they said, "Hey, we're going to move this match to a bigger stadium and etc." So I'm
Right.
like, I'm that guy that's like, I'm that guy that plays devil's advocate,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, I get it, but I get that OSU was not available
Mm-hmm.
or wasn't
Would
fit
their
for it.
field be regulation? I know that's been an
No,
issue with some. Okay, because I've
nope.
heard before that that's an issue and why they haven't had things there before
Yeah, I
for other
mean,
like leagues. Even
yeah, like Man City and Chelsea when they came to Columbus.
that was like the summer tour
Yeah,
thing that they do. Yeah, yeah.
that pitch that they played on wasn't regulation.
Okay.
Maybe that's why Erling Haaland scored a first half hat trick +1 and whatnot. So
Someone actually, funny enough, when that game was going on, which I didn't realize it, we were at Hoof Hearted. There's one
okay, yeah,
close to me, and some guy walked up to me and my wife and was like, "Hey, do you want tickets to?" First off, I think it had already started, but he was like, "Do you want free tickets to this?" Because like I'm not going to go. Like we're not going to it. And I was like, I mean, not at this point. Maybe if you would have asked me hours ago before it started, but at that point, I think he had already scored 1 or 2 goals, and I'm like, no,
yeah.
no
No,
thanks.
I'm good. But yeah, I mean, everything else was still the same. I mean, they had the Match Igniter, they had the
Wise
Wisemen
man.
say, yeah. Everything else was still the same. It was just a bigger venue. I mean,
And it looked,
hell.
I mean, I don't think it was sold out, but I mean, when the game was
Mm-mm.
like in full force, there wasn't a lot of like empty, at least noticeable from where I was. There wasn't a
Yeah.
lot of like empty seats. So, I mean, they sold a lot
Mm-mm.
of tickets. I know that there was a lot of speculation, the way the communication was going a few days leading up to it, that maybe tickets weren't moving as well. But I, I don't, I think that they did a pretty good job of moving tickets.
Yeah. I think more of the empty seats were in the upper bowl, in the upper deck.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the very
Very
upper deck.
corners. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the announced attendance was 60,614. So
Wild.
that shatters Columbus Crew home attendance record, and that shatters highest attendance record. I know the
Right, you're
home
like,
record, and shatters attendance record overall for the club. So I mean, it would I think if we would have won, the vibes would have been different.
yeah,
And
you wouldn't
this,
hear as much noise about the negatives. People
yeah,
would have been pushed down a little bit for sure.
yeah. And this was also very true. They sang Wiseman way too early.
Ugh. I hate when it's like timed like that before they're even out there. It's already. I mean, it can only go on for so long. You know, people
Yeah.
are not going to chant forever the same
Yeah.
thing, and that it doesn't happen too often in our new one now that they've kind of got the kinks worked out in the timing and everything. But
Yeah.
that's always a bummer when that happens.
Yeah. And I was like, they got done, and Columbus was being chanted, being chanted and whatnot. And then you hear the MLS theme song, and then they start walking out. And I'm like, this timing is of the essence here. But
Yeah, yeah.
but I mean, still nonetheless, I think it was a good experience.
And like you said, if we would have won, we would not have spent the amount of time that we have about things that were off or whatever. We
Yeah,
would
yeah, yeah,
be
yeah.
just doing a massive deep dive into everything that went right with them scoring and everything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that certainly plays a factor into it too. Like when you wouldn't hear nearly as much from us or really anybody, or near, I shouldn't say anybody, but a lot of the fans being nearly as vocal about that stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah.
all in all, to your point, I think they put on a good presentation overall. But if they, I don't want to put it out there because I don't want them to do it, but if they did it again in the future at some point, there's area for improvement.
Correct. What doesn't need improvement is the fact that we are back at home this Saturday.
Yes.
Against the San Jose Earthquakes. Bruce Arena back in MLS, thank God. Columbus, San Jose. This is, I mean, I really haven't seen anything of San Jose, quite honestly.
No, me
I
neither.
I do know that 8 goals were split between them and I think it was KC last week. San
Wow.
Jose ended up losing 5-3.
Hmm.
So they definitely can score goals. Manuel does have a point. They do have a good attack, and Hernan Lopez, Chicho Arango, Joseph Martinez.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Joseph
but
Martinez. That's right.
yeah, but I don't know if they'll pose a threat, honestly. Oh, however, they have Bruce Arena, who's probably one of the most legendary coaches in MLS.
Oh yeah.
And they also just picked up DeJuan Jones, but we'll touch on that here in a second. Actually, we could tie that into this. Honestly, DeJuan Jones gets sent to San Jose. I can't remember how much. I think it was like what 600.
Yeah, and I think I saw they split it between this year and next year. It's not
Yeah,
all at once.
yeah. So I was like, I think it was like 250 or something like that. I can't remember. No, that was for the international slot from Houston. Yeah. So Crew San Jose Saturday, 7:30 p.m. at Lower.com Field. I think the biggest question is, what are we looking forward to? Obviously, Columbus hasn't made any noise. The transfer window deadline day.
Is that today?
Yes, ended. I think it ended probably about 7 o'clock,
Okay.
maybe 5, something like that.
I
Yeah,
remember seeing this adds up then because when it became official that that Jones went to them
mm-hmm.
and that we were getting money for it at first, I think there was some speculation about are we doing this to quickly make a move before the end? But I didn't realize it was today. I thought it was like tomorrow or something. But yeah, that makes sense. So this is who we have for all
Yep.
intents and purposes, unless it's in I think we could still do in league cash deals, right? Or is that close too?
I think that's close too.
Okay.
I'd have to ask my contact, who's very good.
It's
at this
so
stuff.
new that I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I even really understand the full rules of it yet, but
Yeah.
okay.
But I mean, to get money for DeJuan Jones in an international roster spot, that is a telltale sign that we are making a move in the summer.
We have two of them now, I believe.
No, back down to one.
Oh, we don't have two international, just one international spot.
Yep, I think
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's back down to one.
Okay.
We had to because we got one. I think it was from San Jose, and then we traded that away to Houston
to get more money.
Yep,
or Garber bucks, whatever.
Yes, yeah. So I think the biggest question is just what are we looking forward to on Saturday? Like, does Columbus come out swinging because we lost to Miami? Does Columbus kind of go back to their ways? Was that just a knockoff game, and now we're back to still being undefeated at home? What are we looking forward to?
That's what I would tend to believe. I mean, so I see otherwise. That's kind of my assumption going into the game is we're going to see a lot better of a attack and probably what we anticipated going into the Miami game than what we actually end up getting. But that is still where I'm setting my bar for like last week, thinking that like our attack was really going to be hard to stop. I think that's going to be the case here again. I guess I would maybe start to get concerned if like the earthquake just shut us down or we're like scoring field goals again. Like that's cause for concern for sure. But I don't tend to think that way going into it, just with the way we've been playing up to that point. Now you've got Gazdag having been integrated into the team well enough. He's already fit, so I'm not really worried about that. Of course, you always got to worry about how quickly someone can adapt to Nancy's system, but overall, even in that case, I mean, he's such a good player. I think that with that top line, you have the potential to luck in some goals, even if that's what it becomes, is just lucking in a few goals or being in goal scoring position. But to me, I think we're going to see a lot more of what we expect to see versus what we ended up seeing almost a week ago now.
San Jose a 1-3-1 in their last 5 matches. 1 win, 3 losses, 1 tie in their last 5. So obviously not looking too good. Getting, was that 4 points out of the last 5 matches?
Yeah.
I pointed out Connor. I saw Connor also pointed out 5-3 loss to Kansas City last week. So but Columbus also, I mean, in our last 5 was the 4, 5, 3, 6, 9, 10 points in our last 5 matches. So we're still on a high no matter what. I think I think we get this out of the way. The Miami match. I'm happy the Miami match was early instead of late in like
Now in
October.
hindsight, yeah.
Yeah, to
Because
where
originally
good.
we were all saying, like, why is this early in the season? And now it definitely feels a lot better that we got it out the way. One thing we should say, just not to keep dwelling on it, but to only lose 1-0 to Miami and virtually shut down all of their stars in one way or another, it should be seen actually as a pretty good effort on our part. And I think that's another aspect we could take away from it from a positive standpoint.
Yeah, and I think also the biggest thing that we can take away from that match heading into this one is that Daniel Gazdag is starting to become a shell of himself, right? Getting in the tight spots, though we couldn't convert against St. Louis and against Miami. I mean, he's getting into those spots to where in Philadelphia he's going to score these, right? He's going to score these for whether it was Jim Curtin or Bradley Carnell. So I think getting Gazda kind of acclimated quickly to the system is definitely a good thing, right? Because now he's able to support Jason, able to support Diego. Max, I like Max still on that left wing back, Mo Farsi on the right wing back. I still like how we are. I just think now that we're back at home to where now the noise from the Nordeca from the stadium kind of ricochets, bounces back down to the ground.
Yeah.
Is going to give that factor back. Like, damn, we missed this last week when it was pouring down the rain. So
I was literally just about to look up because I saw there's a chance of rain on Saturday. I mean, I know these things like typically don't really make a big difference. The rain's going to come in the morning as of now, which it's Ohio, so obviously that can always change. But so it should be a dry atmosphere too, which I think is great. Rain doesn't it's not the end of the world by any means, but
no.
That was one thing I missed too when we were in Cleveland, is that I had to actually think about how wet am I going to potentially get, because I'm so used to us having like a roofing over us, that your chances of getting like affected by the weather once you're in a stadium is much different in Columbus than a lot of other ones, at least that I've been to.
Yeah. And I see, I don't know if it really rained that hard.
It did. It didn't really. I didn't at any point
really
get that wet.
Yeah.
And we were then once the game started, we were in a covered area, so actually that played out well for us. But no, I mean, I don't know. A lot. I always feel like in my mind, I'm like, of course, this is gonna like affect the game in some kind of way, and it traditionally doesn't for the most part, unless it's a monsoon.
Yeah.
Anyways,
definitely.
but
looking at stats here, Columbus obviously dominated possession game on average, having about 58% of the ball. San Jose takes on average about 18 shots, 7 on goal per game.
feels like a lot of shots, or am I like wildly wrong on that?
Yeah. What did I just get from the league? What?
Because if they're averaging 18 and 7 of them are on target, I mean, it's not terrible.
Oh my God! Yes, I'm able to do that. Oh my God! Oh, but
They asking you to do something fun?
yeah.
Like that.
Ask me if I wanted to interview one of the analysts.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea. I work Friday. That's the problem.
Just take a break, and you're like, "Well, I'm on my break right now, but hey, what's
right.
up?"
Like, hey, can I do it like in the afternoon or evening or whatnot? But yeah, I feel like, I mean, we take according to MLSsoccer.com, we take on average 13 shots, 4 on goal.
Oh, wow.
So
honestly, with the goal outputs that we've had this year in some games, now granted, some of them
yeah,
we haven't really. So, like, the average is probably like even out to a much lower number than what we think. But
yeah.
Okay. So San Jose definitely has an attack.
San Jose definitely has an attack. However, I don't feel like that they have been all that they've cracked up to be. Right? Because you think about it, Hernan Lopez, the cousin or nephew of Diego Maradona. You got Chicho Arango, who killed it in LAFC, kind of found good footing with RSL. And you got Joseph Martinez, who is an MLS Cup winner, Golden Boot, MVP. Couldn't really make it in Montreal. Yeah, couldn't really make it in Montreal. So you take that 3 up against Daniel Gazdag, Jason Ross-Rowe, and Diego Rossi. I mean, on paper, it's looking like San Jose has the better attack. However, visually, both attacks really have not been producing a lot.
That's why I'm interested to see with Gazdag starting now with the second game under his belt, and it's only 2 under our system, and from a starting perspective, and obviously, make of it what you will of the game in Cleveland, but I saw, like Connor said in here, he predicts he gets on the score sheet. I mean,
yeah,
that feels like that's coming very sooner than later.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised by that. But yeah, they do definitely still need more time to gel together, no doubt.
The Quakes haven't played a possession-hungry type team yet. We need to keep our shape and minimize counterattacks. 100%. 100%. I guess now I think the biggest thing is prediction time, right?
Yeah.
What do you got?
I haven't thought a lot about this one. I mean, I said
me neither, honestly.
Gazdag scoring feels right. So that's 1-0. I feel like if I had to pick any of the other 2 attackers, I would probably go Diego to score. Or I'm going to go Diego, Gazdag, and then I'm going to say Mo Farsi. It felt like there were times during the game on last Saturday where he was charging up with the ball, like we see typically at home, especially where he is like coming closer and closer to getting into the box, maybe ripping one. And it just never really materialized. But I would like to see that. I feel like that is like the next level of his game that he can unlock, even if they're not. Ideally, they're on target, because then if he misses, you've got your front line coming in there to clean it up, ideally.
Yep.
But in general, I think that is one thing that's missing from him to being like one of the true, like, I don't necessarily want to say like elite outside guys, but I think somebody who is a very viable threat that like every team, they probably already look at him because of speed and possession. Like, he's very good at possessing the ball, very good with the speed aspect. It's just, can he get in and maybe even if it's just 1 or 2 in a season, but banging in a goal to make them have to like stretch out further to get to pick him up if he gets past his defender. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with those 3. 3-2. I'll say the Quakes score 1, because if they're shooting this much, no matter how good Patrick Schulte is, I mean, just from a pure stat standpoint, you would assume 1's going to go in.
Yeah. I'm probably going to go with a 3-1 scoreline. Quite honestly, I think Chicho Arango gets their goal. And I think a combination of all three, Diego, Jason, and Daniel,
That'd be great.
get the goals, right? Because then obviously our attack is starting to get in form. Until we get a true 9, I think that will just be the lift that the Crew need.
And for Russell Rowe, this is a very important time, and we've said that all season.
Yeah,
But I've seen a little bit of the bubbling up again of people being a little more down on him. I think in the past few games, people have expected a little more,
yeah,
from him. I mean, I don't think he's going to score every game, so I'm not necessarily a part of that, but I can understand why people are feeling that way, especially if a 9 is coming, which is kind of the anticipation. It's going to be an important time for him to really show that he belongs. If they go get a 9 and you got to have an odd man out, I mean, I think we all agree it's likely to be Russell Rowe, unless he just does something, really. I don't say he doesn't need to be like miraculous or incredible, but like he's got to really show for it. And the chances he's going to be given here. So I think that would be amazing for his confidence and just for the overall, just vibes, for lack of a better word, of the front line. I mean, we have good vibes going on in the front line.
Yeah. Columbus will be, and I've noticed this little tidbit. The Columbus Crew have not changed their profile picture on Twitter, so that means that they were wearing the Charlie Brown kits on Saturday.
No, what? We gotta wear the Goosebumps. No,
I've noticed that when they change.
I hope they're changing it.
No, it's not. I actually have the game notes up right here. We are wearing Charlie Brown on Saturday.
Oh, that's got to be the first time at home this season, right?
No,
It's not the first time. Okay, I thought it was. Did we win that game at home or did we tie?
No, we tied. It was New York City.
Okay. I get superstitious about stuff like that, so I'm immediately like, no. You know what? Actually, this is just a really random thing, but the fact that you bring that up, what I've noticed, I think, is pretty cool. That like they don't have to do by any means. It probably is a little more annoying for them to have to think about doing it all the time. But anytime they're wearing the Goosebumps kit, like the day before, especially the day of, but I think even the day before, they'll like change up the app where when you go to log in, it starts off with the like regular logo and then it switches over to the Goosebumps one and does like this like melting graphic thing. I think that's pretty cool they do that.
Yeah, I've noticed the profile picture thing. Like during the week, I think on a Monday is Columbus Crew has updated their profile picture to where it looks like it's a glow, and I'm like, oh, it happened 2 weeks ago. I'm like, okay, they changed their profile picture. They're wearing Goosebumps.
That's good eye right there. That is good investigation stuff right there. I love that.
They changed it last Monday, and I'm like, all right, they got to be wearing Charlie Brown from Miami. Sure enough,
I figured they would for that one.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's more of like the classic yellow. Like they'll definitely go with that. But that's a bummer that they're not doing it at home. I'll still wear mine probably.
You have to.
Right? I mean, and it'll be at night. So like if they start doing the black lights, it's all cool and everything.
Oh my God, yes.
So that I'm like, yeah, you know what? I bought that thing. I'm gonna wear the crap out of it. Whether they're wearing theirs or not.
As you should. Columbus in Charlie Brown black shorts, yellow socks, Patrick Schulte in all red. Match officials in blue, black, blue. San Jose in their black and blue, black and black with goalkeeper in green. Match officials are Guido Gonzalez Jr. as the referee, Jeffrey Greason, Justin Howard as your ARs 1 and 2, respectively. Callan Radicev as your fourth, Kevin Terry Jr. as your VAR, Craig Lowry as your assistant VAR. And that is the matchup for Saturday.
I haven't heard of any of those, so I hope that's a good thing.
I think you would know Guido Gonzalez Jr. if you saw a picture. He's repped a couple of our games before.
Okay.
Other than that, final thoughts?
It'll be nice to be back home and get the home atmosphere going. I guess if we're wearing Charlie Brown, they're not going to be doing the black lights and stuff. Now that I'm saying that, most likely not. But yeah, I'm excited to be back home. I saw that they were giving out at this game. It's like military appreciation night, so they're giving out bandanas that
Yeah.
are like the military style
Camo
design, but in black and gold. I rock bandanas. Like I use them for like sweat things at like the gym, or sometimes in the summer I'll wear them to like games, like instead of a hat or something like that. So I'm excited to get that. That is very cool. I don't have a lot outside of that, to be honest.
Yep, same here. Derek, thank you for doing this, man.
Yeah, thank you.
It's fun. It's a short show today, and whatnot. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on bell,
Like
post
and subscribe,
notifications,
please.
Yes, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell us how your Cleveland experience went.
Yeah, I would love to hear what other people's experience was. And if it matches up to ours, or someone had a really good time, I'd love to know what are things that you thought they did really well and really enjoyed. And maybe they did. Maybe there were some things that people experienced from even like concession stand standpoint and stuff. I'm always interested in like, what are some things they did that were really good that maybe we could incorporate into our stadium in the future? I think would be cool.
Definitely do that. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on the bell for post notifications, and get updated on when we post new content. If you guys are listening on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Overcast, or Pocket Cast, or watching on Goals TV, please be sure to leave a review of the show, rate the show, and whatnot. You guys can follow us on social media on Instagram at the Wisemen Say Podcast, here on YouTube at the Wisemen Say Podcast, or on Twitter at Wiseman Pod. You guys can follow Derek on social media
at Funky Moses 17.
You guys can follow me on social media at Fisher Tyler __ on Twitter. And even then, you guys can still follow Gerald at Gerald _Lucas 96 on Twitter. Be sure to send him a message. Let him know that you guys appreciate all the work that he's done in helping get the show back on the road. And for that, Derek, my friend, as tradition goes, Wisemen say,
only fools rush in.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good week. Stay safe, stay hydrated, stay cool. Hug your loved ones. Go Crew.
Go Crew.